I'm gonna get a coffee, actually. Hello, I'm Sam from Cultaholic.com, and this is Graded for Friday Night SmackDown, where I take a look at the show segment by segment and award each little bit a grade from A+ to F. So this week is 25 years of Triple H. That's most of my life. It's one hell of a shift, and yes, I know my hair is blonde. We've been in quarantine for a month, and I just thought that it might be quite funny to do it. Give you all a little slice of joy in these trying times. But yeah, 25 years of Triple H, probably a couple more Money in the Bank qualifiers. So without any further ado, I guess, let's crack on with it. Hit the intro. So out come the New Day to open the show. They are officially 8-time champs. They come down and they sort of brag. They don't really brag, but they sort of brag about winning. So they're talking, and then they get cut off by Lucha House Party. They congratulate them for their big win, for being tag champs again, but they want a shot at the belt. And then super unceremoniously, like, out comes Miz and Morrison. They just storm straight past Lindsay Dorado and Grand Metalik. Miz and Morrison think they've been screwed. They just start off straight away with, you never beat us. It was this multi-match. You never beat us, like, team against team, so it shouldn't really count. Miz and Morrison think they've been screwed, the standard old, you never beat us, it was like a multi-man thing, it's not fair. Metalik then starts going off on one in Spanish, just proper screaming, sounds like he's trying to chew the microphone off, Jesus Christ, it's peaking, but then he's cut off by the Forgotten Sons. The Sons state their case, they say they went away and they served their country, they gave themselves for their country, they come back and they're treated like trash, and then they run Miz down for playing Marine in the movies, when really he's now stood face to face with 2 US Marines. The Sons then prove their point, beat everybody down. Miz and Morrison peel off, they're just out of the way, they're straight up the ramp and out back, while the Sons are just absolutely laying in to the other 2 teams. And Riker powerbombing Kofi is this final statement. He picks up Kofi and he just powerbombs him onto Big E's prone body. I loved it, it was great. I'm giving this segment a B. This is a promo that we've seen 100,000 times. It's just the same old, same old, same old. And introducing Lucha House Party into the mix, introducing the Sons into the mix, I think's done a lot. It really does feel like there's been a fresh injection of talent into the SmackDown tag division. Obviously, Lucha House Party aren't that new, but we're going to talk a little bit more about them later. They seem to be, being featured a little more moving forward, hopefully. After we come back from the break, Miz and Morrison are backstage. They're stressed out, they're annoyed, but the source of all of the issue for them is the Lucha House Party. So tonight, they're going to have a match for Lucha House Party. They're going to go get it all sorted right now. Next up, we have Drew Gulak with Daniel Bryan at ringside against Baron Corbin, and whoever wins this match advances to the Money in the Bank ladder match. I really hope it's going to be Gulak, but I just don't think it's going to be, and the match starts with Gulak being immediately unceremoniously tossed to the floor. Back in the ring though, Gulak is able to drive Corbin to the mat, really sort of starts stretching him out. Corbin has to dig deep and power his way out of it every time. Whenever Gulak can, he's just going to try and lock him up and take him to the mat. So Corbin starts just powering out, laying in strikes as he's getting back to his feet, but then Gulak dumps him to the outside and over the announce table. There's a couple of near falls followed by some back and forth, and then Gulak seems to just step up into Super Saiyan mode, starts really laying in closed fist strikes against Corbin in a massive flurry. Corbin's not really able to do much but defend himself. Things even open up so much here for Gulak that he's able to drive Corbin into the ring steps, the big old run and toss into the steps. Nakamura and Cesaro then appear, however, and they attack Daniel Bryan on the outside. This draws Gulak out of the ring. Gulak goes down and tries and break things up. Corbin's able to take control here, back into the ring, end of days, picks up the win. Baron Corbin advances to the Money in the Bank ladder match. Post-bell as well, Gulak eats a meaty looking scepter shot straight to the face. Corbin is back on form as a horrible, despicable heel. I'm going to give this one a B+. It was a perfectly fine match, but the things I loved about it were sort of the moments of explosion from Gulak where he would just snap and start laying in the strikes. I like seeing that viciousness shine through. I'm a big fan of sort of big guy versus little guy matches anyway, so this was right up my street. As much as I hate to say it as well, I think Corbin would add more to the Money in the Bank ladder match than Gulak. I think there's going to be a lot more moments for comedic opportunity, for horrible heely behaviour, especially with how it's being shot this year. I think he'll be a great asset to the match. Next up, we have Sheamus' weekly squash. This time he's up against NXT trainee Daniel Vidot. Now, Vidot is a former NRL player, and to non-rugby fans that means he comes from Australia's National Rugby League, which is like a truly monumental league in the world of rugby. It features some of the best teams, strongest players and fastest action in the entire sport, and if there's one thing that rugby boys are built to do, it's take a beating. I can't wait to see what he turns into, of course, given enough time, but tonight we sort of know what the formula is. He's about to get steamrolled. And right on time, I'm just going to read this because I wrote down as it was happening. Strikes, drum, bro, kick, win, C, squash. Squashy, 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 C. Next segment. And next is Miz and Morrison versus Lucha House Party. They're getting their match against those pesky Lucha boys for ruining everything earlier in the night. Before the match though, Sheamus appears. We've just seen like part 3 of this little teaser for the big Jeff Hardy documentary. Sheamus appears and he's once again angry at Michael Cole for mentioning Jeff Hardy. This is a feud that's coming at some point, but for now we're just getting this sort of teaser with Sheamus getting annoyed at Cole for bringing him up. However, once the match starts, it starts with some serious pace. Lindsay just bringing it until he's eventually squashed by a big boot. Morrison continues the abuse when he tags in. We get Grand Metalik coming in with some innovative offense, but Miz and Morrison really are trying to keep each member of Lucha House Party as separate and as far away from each other as possible, really trying to work in their corner. There is a great bit of back and forth with Miz and Metalik with just a lot of reversals, a lot of very quick action, but this brings about the end of the match. So Metalik goes for like a moonsault. I think it's like the very final thing he's going to do in this big chain they've been working on. Miz gets his feet up and then Metalik sort of like knocked for 6. He goes for skull crushing finale, and as he goes to sweep him through, like go downwards on that motion, Metalik rolls him through into a cheeky pinfall win. Now, I'm going to give this a B+. I have a soft spot for Lucha House Party because I used to cover 205 Live where they would have some really good matches, but people just overlooked them. I don't know if it's Kalisto, I don't know if it's just that the gimmick feels like it's been around for an eternity and needs a change, but the guys are capable of some amazing stuff. They just need to be given that chance. And seeing this today, I'm hoping that maybe this is a sign of things to come. They're going to be treated more like a serious threat moving forward. They're going to be less childish lucha, and all of that stuff, but only time will tell. So next up we have Sasha Banks versus Lacey Evans in a Money in the Bank qualifier. Sasha comes to the ring with Bayley, of course, and they have a little cardboard cutout on like a popsicle stick of Lacey's daughter, and this is of course going to be used throughout the match to goad Lacey. And I mean it, straight off the bell, Bayley's there with the little cutout, distracts Lacey. Lacey swings for Bayley. This allows Sasha to capitalise and take it to Lacey. Whenever Sasha tries to take charge, Lacey seems to hulk up, just grab her and like launch her into the crowd barricade, stuff like that. But once again, Bayley is able to goad Lacey with the little cutout, and this distracts Lacey, leaving her wide open for Sasha. When we get back in the ring, Lacey digs deep. She starts hoofing Sasha around the ring, like just kicking her. Sasha's going like 5 feet in every direction. It was great. But whenever Sasha can, she's targeting the right hand of Lacey. She's driving it into posts. She's doing everything she can to sort of lock it up, twist it, stretch it, do anything to sort of diminish the power of that women's right. Sasha even locks in the bank statement. Lacey manages to get out of it. I think she catches it with one woman's right first, and then like Sasha's rocked. There's a whole thing with Bayley. So you have like Sasha goes down off this woman's right. She's banged to right. It's going to be a 3 count. Bayley manages to grab her leg, puts it on the rope. Referee catches the leg on the rope, doesn't catch Bayley doing it, breaks the pin. This leads to Sasha going for a cheeky roll-up because Bayley is arguing with the referee. The referee doesn't count it. Bayley sort of screwed her own friend by interfering here because second Lacey gets back up, second women's right, 1, 2, 3. Bayley costs Sasha a place in the Money in the Bank match. So yeah, Bayley has once again screwed over her mate. There's going to be more trouble in paradise there. Sasha, even at one point during the match, turned to her and was like, stay out of this, I've got it. And then as they're making their way up the ramp, they're sort of like leaving in like an awkward fashion because Bayley's just screwed up. Tamina's music hits. Tamina just lays out Bayley with a super kick, puts her on notice and leaves. I'm going to give this one a B+. It had a cool little story running through it. I think that the use of Lacey's daughter as like a device to goad her and drive her mental and allow Sasha to capitalise, I think that was great as well. And yeah, of course, with Sasha telling Bayley to stay out of it, that shows that she's aware that Bayley sort of messed things up for her before. She doesn't want her to do that anymore. She just wants to crack on with it. But Bayley, of course, ends up costing her the match, which means there's going to be ructions there soon, hopefully. Please. And real quickly, finally, Lacey just looked like she would bring in a fight tonight. It was less sort of about the gimmick. It was less kind and nice and fair. It was just brutal, just as much as you can, laying it in. Real quick here as well, I'm not going to show a picture of it because it was just one of those super quick, weird cutaways. You got Dana Brooke and Carmella backstage. Carmella, of course, last week was like, I can't believe you're taking a Money in the Bank qualifier. Well, Dana's found out Carmella has one next week, and she's like, can't believe you're taking a Money in the Bank qualifier. Oh, we're going to have a good match tonight though, aren't we? Yeah, we are. Oh, yeah, we're totally going to win those belts. No, we're not. So next up, we have Bliss and Cross versus Carmella and Dana Brooke. And this one starts with Nikki Cross being kicked straight out of the ring. There's like an immediate pilot. Once Nikki has been drop kicked to the outside, I think Carmella comes out with like sort of an apron crossbody, and then Bliss is there, and then Dana comes diving in, and it all falls apart real quick. And then we go to break, we come back, Carmella is firmly in control of Bliss, and Dana is taking care of Nikki on the outside. So Bliss is getting beaten down in the ring, Cross gets a blind tag, which gives her a bit of a respite, but then things just really quickly wrap up. So Bliss leaves the ring for like a second, and then gets back in, and then her and Nikki hit a modified 3D and pick up the win. That quick. So I'm going to give this one a C. It was super short. Like, it felt once again like we got barreling toward the end of the show and we needed to save time. It felt like the match started and we went straight to sort of the finish. It was like straight out of the ring, straight brawl, and then come back, and then as quick as you're back, it's over. I mean, I love the explosive nature of it, don't get me wrong, but it just felt rushed. It just felt a little bit rushed. And finally, for our main event segment tonight, we have Triple H's 25th anniversary celebration. There's a lot of stuff going on here, so I'm just going to sort of give you cliff notes. Triple H comes out, he's about to spit water, a stagehand in a mask's like, whoa, no, you can't be spitting water in this day and age, takes the bottle off him. Triple H is just sort of like, He's almost immediately cut off by Shawn Michaels, who comes down, and Michaels is sort of going to be, I guess, the host, kinda, of this thing. It's sort of hard to describe, but he's sort of like the host, I guess. Triple H tries to hug him as he says, we've got 2 words for you, and he's like, whoa, no, the 2 words are social distancing. And Triple H is sort of annoyed that they've been changed from suck it to social distancing. Michaels also cracks a joke about everybody who was invited turning up tonight and the room being completely empty. And then he guilt trips Triple H about himself not actually having a 25th anniversary show. Like, they didn't even give Shawn one. That's just not fair. It's just cruel. There's then a DX blooper reel, which is great, just seeing people corpse and things go wrong, and they're always fun. We also see a recap of Triple H's WrestleMania losses, which was also great. Triple H then tries to thank his opponents for making him who he is, and then Shawn starts going off on one about, hold on, what did he call her? Stephanie No Fun. So he starts going off about Stephanie No Fun. He says that she came along and she took all of the fun out of their lives, and, she made Triple H sort of boring. And then Triple H's phone rings and it's Stephanie. She goes off on Shawn a little bit. Triple H is like, no, it's not happening. She's like, I'm watching it live on TV right now. She calls Shawn like a load of stuff. She says he's got a lazy eye. I thought that was great. Flair then calls in for a couple of seconds, and then Road Dogg calls in for a couple of seconds, and Triple H hangs up on him. Shawn then brings up Katie Vick, and out comes Vince. Vince McMahon's here, of course, to celebrate 25 years of his son-in-law. Vince says that he wishes he could give Triple H a hug, and then he runs him down as boring. It's odd. It felt like there was no script here. Vince just sort of came out, freeballed it, just did whatever he wanted. He equated Triple H to the gobbledygooker. He says, back in the day we wanted a mascot, and I thought of this giant egg, and basically equated Triple H to gobbledygooker. He addressed Katie Vick and puts all of it on Triple H. He's like, I can't believe you did that. He equates reactions to Triple H to the reactions to the Bayley Alexa Bliss This Is Your Life segment. He even clears them of blame for it as well. And Vince then just casually tells him that he sucks, turns around, walks into the back. Triple H is like, are you throwing us out? And then the lights start going off one by one as Triple H and Shawn are just stood there. The sound of crickets starts getting piped in. And then we go off the air. I don't know what I watched, but it was fantastic. I'm going to give it an A. It was wild. It was funny. It completely took me out of the situation that we're all currently in. It was just nice. It was just funny. I always love blooper reels. Vince coming out and just being mental in a way, like in a very Vince way, just going off on a story. It just made me want Vince as my granddad, though. Just sitting around the table listening to him just talk about stuff like that all day would be amazing. But it was fun, and we need fun right now. So as I said, it gets an A. So overall this week, I'm going to give SmackDown a B+. Aside from the Triple H main event segment type thing, we had the Money in the Bank matches fattening up quite nicely. New Day are actually official tag team champs, which means we're not going to have any of that weird back and forth with half and half champions. Sheamus is is still on a tear. I can't wait to see him in a proper program, having some proper matches, and Sasha and Bayley are falling apart at the seams. All nice stuff. So yeah, I think it was a pretty strong week. What did you think of SmackDown this week? Let me know in the comments below.